The whole crew is here except for Leslie.
Exactly.
Welcome everyone on this Friday evening, and we are going to be giving you an abbreviated Facebook Live. There's two reasons for this. Number one, Davion, you're getting ready for the 9 and 10 o'clock.
Right.
So Davion is doing the 9 and 10 o'clock news tonight.
Lots to talk about.
What's the reason for that? Because Josh and I are doing a live stream. We're starting at 5 a.m. tomorrow morning, and we're going to be streaming on all avenues. Facebook Live, on our website, knwa.com, and 479 First
we got
as
you
well.
covered on every single social media.
There is no way you can't find our stream when this storm system's coming in. But my goodness, well, what are some of the things that we're seeing right now on radar? It's like, oh my.
Very heavy snowfall near McAllister right now.
Yeah,
that's as heavy as you could possibly get.
Yeah, that's you can see the banner, it's maxed out.
So we've got let's take a look here at some precipitation. Man.
That is.
So this is our new scale. Just like I was telling you, you can really tell the difference between the sleet and the snow. Where you're looking at the precipitation scale, at the top left, you'll see when it turns white in the snow, that is some super heavy snow.
Heavy.
I mean, we'll zoom in on that on Mega Doppler. And it's all about that energy that's swinging in. Look at that. Now, there's a couple things to let you know about. First of all, this system, pretty intense, obviously. But also, the warm nose, it's not as much of a factor. And we can kind of see this now as the trends are showing. See that sleet line drifting southward.
Right.
This is some pretty intense energy that's moving in, and that is going to be some really heavy snow. This is just the beginning of this weather system, too, that's coming through. What do we have here?
Colin, meteorologist Dan Scoff. Dan Scoff is
I'm calling
Scoff.
me?
Yeah, exactly.
You're calling
Oh,
me.
I got to see this.
Hey,
What's going
Dan
on
Scoff.
here? Hey, Dan, what's up?
What's up, Dan?
Oh, wait. Wait, it is someone that's calling.
Actually
Oh,
somebody.
I got you. We are live with a Facebook, but we'll go ahead. Is this Kimberly?
Yes, it is.
Okay. I love how
I
people
want to find out what time do you think it's going to start over here in Dyer, Arkansas?
in Dyer, Arkansas. That's going to be probably within, I mean, it's already coming your way. Yeah, it's towards I-40.
Yeah.
Probably, I would say around maybe 10, 11 o'clock that you'll start to see some flurries. Yeah. So we're taking a look. We'll take a look at Dyer, Arkansas. And it's just, like I said, it's coming in. We'll zoom in a little bit on it and you'll get to see it. But let's go ahead and we'll bring up that radar full. And precipitation definitely on the way moving into the region. So
scroll on one more there.
Yeah.
It should pop up if you scroll just one more
yeah,
time.
just keep going.
Further. Oh, there it is. There
right
it is.
there, right to the west of Mulberry.
So
Yeah.
east of Alma, just to the west of Mulberry, as we're doing this live stream. So you can see that precipitation starting to nudge in. I'm saying about 10, 11 o'clock, it will really start to fill in. And by midnight, it will really be cranking up.
All right, I appreciate it.
Yep, no problem.
Paige and Dan Scott.
Paige and Dan.
You're like, hey, what's up, Dan?
He's like, what's up, Dan? Hey, oh, sorry. There is.
That's hilarious. That's an all-time moment right there.
Right. Oh, there is someone on the other
All right.
line.
Boy, if it's that easy to call and just get a hold of me, then that's funny. All right. Anyways, so yeah, big time precipitation moving in. You'll see it here on Heil Heat and Cooling Mega Doppler.
Zoom out a little bit.
System is zipping through. We got a lot to talk about timing, but there you can see that wave of energy. So we're going to get the latest HRRR. Well, we'll take a look at that. Davion, where is that in your show here?
Just a little bit. There it is.
There we go, right
Big time
here.
show. It's loaded.
Yeah, it is very loaded. He's ready to rock and roll.
Yes.
Lots to talk about.
So we'll bring up weather one, and we'll bring that up full. And by the way, you can see the winter storm warning that is in effect, and it's right now. So I'm going to go ahead and manipulate this, and I think we probably have some. Yep, we do. Let's
cameras.
Select all those Sling cameras and delete them, so then that way we can kind of go through this. So first of all, this is, as you'll see, a little bit overdone because it's showing precipitation moving into Dyer, which we just heard from Kimberly, surprisingly enough, that called it. I don't know if she knew we were on live or if she thought, hey, we're on live, I'll just give them a call.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
I
cool.
have no clue.
That's cool. But anyways, there's that precipitation moving into Dyer. It's a little bit early. However, nevertheless, also too, look at this rain on here.
Right.
That's cap.
I don't
That
buy
is
that at
big
all.
time cap
That is
because that is not what's happening at all. We go from that to mega Doppler and look at the difference. That's all precipitation. That's all snow. And that's not what mega Doppler is showing. So anyways, over time, obviously, yeah, it's going to fill in. That could also cut into the snowfall totals on the model
Exactly.
compared to what we're actually seeing.
That's what I was going to say, because the models are already pumping out a ton of snow anyway.
They are.
Yeah.
But even now, it's starting to show a little bit of rain leaking into the river valley, which doesn't make any sense. So what impact does that play on the actual snowfall totals that we see?
Yeah.
It's interesting
Exactly.
to me.
Well, that is right there, the warm nose that's coming in. And I'll tell you this, we had to up the totals just because the river valley is getting colder. It's going to stay colder, lots of precipitation ahead. So because of that, here's our adjusted snow totals. We're just going to dive into it right now. We're just going to show you exactly what we're expecting, and we're zipping in on it.
Time for
So
the comment section to have
first
fun.
of all, I'm sure there's going to be someone out there that be like, Apple weather was right from my
Yeah.
trolling comment that I said, yeah, 1 out of 1,000 times. Huh?
Exactly. Yes.
But maybe
Right.
not. Maybe Apple weather had 11-13, and we might be over 11
Might
to
be
13.
over that.
So that's
Exactly.
not even right. But
Yes.
in the grand scheme of things, that's kind of like when you, Josh, tweet about something when you're like,
Razorback related.
yeah, Razorback related.
Like 1 second,
He'll
I'll be
tweet
like,
about it,
yes.
and immediately it does the exact opposite.
yes,
what
like
you
I'll say, oh man, Trevin Brazil, right? He's the greatest hog of all time. And the next second, he misses 1 rebound. Oh man, what's going on with the Razorbacks? So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is one of those things.
All right, back to this. We'll show you that precipitation popping up, and you're going to notice 8 to 10 inches over northern sections of northwest Arkansas, southwest Missouri. Why aren't we going over 12? It's because of the track of the low. Track of the low is a little bit farther south. And because it's a little farther south, that means that heavy snow swath will be located, as Josh mentioned, right where that sleet changes into snow. That's where your heaviest precipitation is coming in.
yes. And a good thing that you're mentioning too here, Dan, with the 8 to 10 inches. Notice that there's a plus by it, right?
Yeah,
There's potential for higher amounts. It just really, I think our confidence is a little bit higher farther to the south because there could be some dry air eating away at that snow in southwest Missouri and far northwestern Arkansas. But if that doesn't happen, there's obviously going to be higher totals in those locations.
Right.
And Davion, I mean, here's the deal, man. You don't forecast over a foot of snow in this area. If it happens to be over a foot, it's a freak snowstorm.
Yeah,
You just
absolutely.
don't do that. I'm especially
I
being from
yeah.
the South.
yes.
Forecasting for over a foot means you're like the most confident person on the planet when it comes to snowfall.
And even then, we're like, what? Even then, we're not
Right,
very confident, you know?
right.
It's like, is this really going to happen?
It's coming though.
Yeah,
I mean, it's coming. Look
That is.
look again at Mega Doppler, and I'm going to show you here as I zoom in on this. Like, check this out. There it comes, already starting to fill in. Now, you might see precipitation. You step out the door, and you might not see anything, and there's good reason for that, and that's because it's too dry still, not quite saturated, but that's about to change here
Yeah,
real soon.
that air temperature is going to start to drop as well when that rain or snow starts to filter in.
Maybe not this one, Amanda. She was asking if we're going to be running in the neighborhood again. We didn't make a
We didn't
bet.
make a bet this time.
Nope,
Yeah.
thankfully.
Yeah, I learned my lesson.
All right, so going back to that radar, as you'll see here, or going back to the snow totals. So there is a swath of heavy snow that we have running through central and southern sections of northwest Arkansas. First of all, you have higher terrain effects. This is not going to be perfect. There probably might be an area that picks up over a foot, north of here, but we do have the plus, and that's just a great way to cover our rear end, honestly, because there's going to be so many factors that go into the precipitation. 10 to 12 inches plus in the river valley. That is brand new. We added that now because of exactly what was taking place with that warm nose, which is not as much of a warm nose, And it makes sense because you look at Mega Doppler and check this out. You've got precipitation. You know what? I got an idea. I'm going to,
Ooh.
well, maybe. Yep.
Maybe.
I'm getting shocked like left and right tonight.
Yeah, Dan almost
Everything.
Dan almost,
Almost
got,
got
set
struck,
on,
man.
almost got set on fire earlier.
Like seriously. Trying to move the camera.
I was
and I'm
live and
getting
he was
blasted.
moving the camera, and
But
it was like,
It makes sense because you guys are like the Energizer bunnies right now.
I
You're
know,
just
right?
producing a lot of electricity.
So here you go. Johnny says nothing in Cassville right now. Well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Nothing in Cassville. This is because
It's cold.
over here, it's all above freezing.
Yeah.
I mean, no, it's not above freezing. It's
dry.
it's all
It's
dry.
Upper
Yeah, it's too
atmosphere.
dry in the upper atmosphere, but that's about to saturate here pretty quick. In fact, I can show you this. Watch this. We're going to switch radars real quick. We're going to go to Tulsa's radar, and you're going to see a dramatic difference where the precipitation kind of disappears just to the east of Tulsa from Inola, unless it's actually reaching the ground. And if it's reaching the ground, we'll find out here in about, nope. See?
nope.
Yep.
It's
Nothing
gone.
there. So it just disappears. Now, why is that happening? Because as the radar beam gets farther away from the radar, it's higher up in the air,
Yep.
and it's detecting no precipitation because those snowflakes are evaporating when it gets lower to the ground. So let me try to rephrase that again real quick. So we actually got a graphic for that. But essentially what you're looking at is the closer it is to the radar, the lower the snowflakes are. And because they're evaporating or technically sublimating
Yeah.
before they reach close to the ground, the radar doesn't pick it up anymore.
That sublimation is the killer of all snowstorms.
Yep.
sometimes.
It can be.
Yes.
It does cool down that air temperature, though. That's
does.
that wet bulb effect. You're going to start to see that. That's why Cassville is already so cold. It was, and I think in my newscast they were already down to 17.
Yeah.
I can imagine what they are now.
Big time Arctic blast.
Oh, yeah,
That cold air is filtering.
So a lot of people asking questions when it moves in. Well, you know, for that we use model data, but model data isn't very good right now.
Yeah, it's a
It's
little
not
off.
even handling what's actually happening. So you can see that maybe if we go back here, put that in motion, we zoom in, look, it's already showing at 8 p.m. it's moving in, but yet it doesn't have the dry air that's associated with it. So there's the 8 p.m. It doesn't take that into account. We know about that. And then as you can see, that precipitation just continues to come down. Now that's one. Let's look at the NAM. And you have that in here, don't you?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, where is that?
It's
There it is right here. So this is one thing that we have to watch is this warm nose. I'm going to go back in time. Let's see how it's handling it right now. Little overdone with the warm nose, I think, but then it kind of moves south. See how that is moving south a lot faster. Now, the darker blue is going to be your heavier snows. So right in this area is where you have the heaviest snow.
Fort Smith.
It's still a
Smith's a
dry
little
snow, but it's a really heavy snow.
It is such a delicate line.
Man,
Because like
Amber.
you get into that heavy snow, right? You're talking about, maybe like 10 to 12 inches plus, right? And then you go about 50 miles south of
Yeah,
that snow sleep line.
it's sleep.
Yeah, exactly. And there's like barely anything
Yeah.
on the ground when it comes to snow. So it's going to be such a fine line, especially for our neighbors down in central Arkansas, towards like the Little Rock area. I do not envy the central Arkansas geologists right now.
Now you have to mention, we'll get to the icing too, but we have to mention the lull that's going to happen late morning to tomorrow afternoon. Now, like we said, we're going to be streaming starting at 5 a.m. I don't blame you if you're not up at that time, but you're going to get up eventually.
Exactly.
And we'll be streaming all the way through 11 o'clock, providing at times television coverage intermixed with the live stream. So we've got you covered on this storm, on a very epic, perhaps historic storm.
Yes.
Honestly, it could be. 15 plus inches is the maximum daily snowfall record for Fayetteville.
Right.
It was back in 1968
Oh, wow.
in March.
Wow.
In March.
What a
Hey,
record.
in March.
Yeah, in March.
What a record.
So there's a possibility that we do, in fact, get that. So I'm going to show you, I've got my show loaded. We're going to go through some of the stuff here with the winter storms here. We're going to go through some of the graphics, and we're going to go through some of the models as well. Let's take a look at some temperatures. And so let's go ahead and we'll bring up our weather graphics on 2.
See how cold
Here
Cassville
is, so nothing happening right now in Waldron, even though it looks like it's about, you can actually almost see the snow bands off in the distance.
Yeah.
And it does look like some of that precipitation is starting to reach the ground in Waldron. So we can pan down here. We'll look at Mega Doppler.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it is.
there.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Oh, yeah.
starting to
Heavier band.
saturate
Yeah,
here
heavier
real
band.
soon. Let's take that Waldron camera. I'll show you as we're looking at it. We're gonna
There it
take it
is.
and let's point it to the southwest. This is looking southeast.
Pointed southwest.
Well, remember that was a big snow, but that was not 24 inches in Fayetteville, TJ. That's a great question. That's one that I actually asked too. But if you look at SC ASIS, it's got 15 inches. And so the big snows have usually been dry. You know what? That's why, because it's easier to pile up.
Ratios.
When you
Yeah.
have that drier snow, it's easier to pile up. Yeah, no, keep the power on. That is,
I
that
know,
is going to
right?
be really
Please.
crazy.
It's going to be hard to do for our friends down south with the ice accumulation.
Well, it is.
In fact, Waldron included in that area.
Yeah.
Yeah, there could be a little bit of icing in LaFleur and Scott County with
Oh,
the
yeah.
system that we have to watch very closely.
Yeah, you know what? We don't have any cameras recording. That's a great point. Do we have? We have some of them that are going.
You can't show this comment, but that's hilarious. I hope you get snowed in. I hope for you.
Why can't we show that comment? That's pretty hilarious.
Funny comment.
Yeah. Says someone is hoping for someone else to get snowed in. It might not be snow either. It might be ice.
Yeah, exactly.
There might
So
be
it
a
might
little
be even
more
worse.
ice.
Look at the latest
in the Walden area.
Might be even worse.
Be nice.
Okay, back to the graphics. Mega Doppler. Look at this band.
Yeah,
Look at this.
McAllister
We're
band.
about
This
to
is
hammer.
just
That is-
insane.
That-
This is going to be some big time heavy snow.
that is-
And this is right now, as you see on Howell Heating and Cooling Mega Doppler. This is from Tulsa again. So if we switch the radar back again, what do you think we're going to see? Probably this disappear, but I bet you it won't even be gone southwest of McCurt. Yep,
zoomed out. Oh man, that
there it is.
Yeah,
Man.
that is.
So there's McCurtain right there, and look, it's already starting to fill in. So this is going to be some tremendous snow. So we'll go back to those totals again. Now we're kind of bouncing around a little bit, but let's go back to those snow totals and show you what we're expecting, because it is going to be a little bit of an issue trying to predict where that heaviest snow will be. So again, Northwest Arkansas going to be in the corridor of the heaviest snow. But we also included the River Valley in that as well. 10 to 12 in the River Valley. Farther south, you get the sleet that's happening. And elevation, too, is another big thing, just like Dawson put. Elevation can play a big role in what, in what happened. Yeah, no kidding. Curious if you think it'll snow. Kind of seems ambiguous, doesn't it?
I would agree, Brian. Yeah.
I don't think thunder snow, Leon. We looked at that. We did not see
Yeah.
any conditional symmetric instability, CSI. We also didn't see any mostly unstable Cape. But-
Southeast Arkansas, that's a different story.
But
Yeah.
that will be
Maybe some
thunder,
some thunder
freezing rain. Yeah,
Yes.
thunder, freezing rain.
Yes.
That'll be
That'll be bad.
yeah.
Russellville will be mostly all snow. As of now, the prediction for Springdale, I would say for Springdale, I'd say over a foot is a good bet.
Is it? Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Is a
so,
good
too.
bet.
Right in that
Yeah.
bullseye.
Right down the middle.
So if we come back here, you can kind of see that Springdale is on the southern edge of that just a little bit, but nevertheless, that's still going to be around a foot.
Mhm.
We do need to get some sleep. There's no doubt about that, which is exactly why I just want to give you a heads up. Davion's doing the 9 and 10
Yep.
because we are starting our live stream tomorrow. I can't do the 9 and 10 and then come back and wake up
do-
at 4 a.m.
It's like a
and come on in.
quadruple shift.
But that's when things are really going downhill, road wise, street wise, all that stuff. This precipitation is pretty crazy. I don't think I can survive just going from now all the way to 11 o'clock. Maybe, I don't know. We did get Baja
Yes.
Blasts, the Baja
We did.
Blast
We did.
Bros.
Hey,
Cheers.
cheers.
There's a reason that we call it the Baja Blast, because check out all this energy that's moving in from the southwest. This is just a massive system.
Yeah,
Big
and
show
you remember
in
how
Boston.
you always say the models don't do well with Baja energy.
They
We're starting
don't.
to see that how it's a little bit overdone. on
Yeah,
dams.
yeah.
But
absolutely.
that's all of that moisture. That's not even the main low pressure system, which is crazy.
I
to
know
me.
that doesn't arrive until tomorrow night.
Exactly.
I mean,
So
it's
we're
insane.
That's why we're getting that secondary system.
we're
Yes.
in for it.
And we could talk more about that too a little bit in the lull. But I live in Lincoln. How much snow do you think it'll snow here? Boy, I think it's going to be over a foot in Lincoln,
Yeah, I
honestly.
agree.
Yeah.
I just don't see a lot of failure modes with this.
Every single model.
And how it's evolving right now tells me that the sleep potential is a lot lower. That could eat away at the totals potentially.
Yeah.
I was interested to see initially how that was going to evolve, and it looks like we're definitely seeing a deeper cold layer. For
Oh,
sure.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Mhm.
And not only that, but rapid cooling of the column too. Because you could
Yes.
look at Mega Doppler again. We put this into motion, and good night, is that going to be some
Good
snow?
night.
And I think that's why the models are upping the snow totals. But look at the sleet area. Boy, you can really see that sleet on the legend too. You can see that starting to lift northward. Obviously, everything's quiet on the iDrive Arkansas cameras. We can bring those up, and you can see we've got a 4-panel of those all across northwest Arkansas and the River Valley, and everything's fine now. But that's going to be changing here really soon. So we'll go back to Mega Doppler real fast, and we'll take a look at what we've got here, as you'll see that precipitation popping up. So let's work our way northward. Someone's asking about Siloam. I think in about 1 hour, you'll start to see precipitation beginning to come in. Giga Doppler.
Giga Chad.
Yeah.
I like that.
We just talked about this. Great question.
There it is.
Why is the radar showing snow at my house, but there is no
I
snow
love this.
on the radar? So we do have a graphic for this. Josh, you want to bring it up?
Yes.
You know about it, right? Sublimation. I think try typing sub and see what happens. Nope. Who knows how I labeled it? Snow on radar.
Snow.
Smo. Mo smo.
No snow. No.
Stand by.
Try radar snow.
Radar snow. No.
What is it called?
Dry air.
There it is.
Yeah.
Dry air evaporating
Evaporating
snow. Might want to relabel that.
Yeah.
I am the worst at labeling things. I really am. Go back to the beginning of this.
Mhm.
Okay, so great question. This is the reason. So where's the snow? Just like what you said right here. Why does it show up on radar, but none of it is reaching the ground? Here's the reason why. As the radar beam is going out, it's measuring that snow. But if you're closer to the radar, that dry air, until it gets saturated, is basically allowing those snowflakes to sublimate. And when they sublimate, they just disappear.
Yep.
So that's exactly why you're seeing that lack of snow closer to the radar. Farther away, you're seeing some really heavy snow. So the snow is falling out of the clouds, and eventually that'll make it all the way to the ground. What is the column? When we say column, we're just talking about a column of air.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
hypothetically, a column of air.
Basically from the surface all the way up to the levels.
How about this? That was designed for INX. Yes. Houses right next to the radar causing shadowing on that graphic must be KINX.
Yep, exactly.
Radar shadowing. You know, we got someone that's an engineer there talking.
yeah.
Ain't no ball.
Yeah.
That is for sure.
Are the mailboxes monstrous?
Wait, what?
You got mailboxes are monstrous.
Go back here.
Yeah.
I mean, it is.
About the size of the car. You know, it could be a sense of perspective. You know,
On
the
Amazon
mailbox is
car.
really close to you, and it looks really big.
It's true.
Kind
It's
of like
true.
how they filmed Elf
Yes.
with Will Ferrell.
Oh, what's up?
That's a funny one.
We're about to get some precipitation. Honestly, it's coming in. So
it's coming in.
let's do a real quick recap of all the models, because we are going to cut this off about 8:45. At least I'll stop the stream. But Davion, we're going to keep it running so people can see your broadcasts.
Okay.
Yep.
Not only that, but we'll kind of show you some radar loops in between. We'll let this stream run until I'd say later on tonight,
Yeah.
and then we'll shut it down. But here's a look back at what we've got with this system. Very, very intense system. A lot of energy moving in, and we got big time precipitation shield that's pushing in. So take the camera off the screen.
Wow,
Look at this.
Man.
Look at that just explodes.
Yeah,
Now-
that filled in a lot.
There is one thing though that does kind of concern me. This looks to move out a lot earlier than tomorrow late morning, unless it fills in. It's a possibility it fills in. That does kind of look like a little bit of a dry slot. But this really fills in, as you mentioned, Josh, and that is going to be quite a bit of precipitation. We've got several hours of snow. Holly's asking about it, or Haley, excuse me. Is Dan's tie on theme tonight? I think so.
I'd say so.
I would
Yeah.
say so. I would say so.
Got some big old dendrites right there.
Bang.
Oh, and hold on. Not only that, but
Get the socks out.
yep,
Socks out.
we've got the bread and milk socks.
Yes.
Snow and bread and milk.
Bread and milk sandwiches. Let's
Yeah.
go.
So I only wear those on the biggest snowstorms.
Good luck finding any of that.
And this
Yours
is one
now.
of them. Yeah, good luck finding those socks. Just like
I know,
bread
right?
and milk.
He's
Yeah.
stocked up on them.
All right, we got a report. Already seeing flakes and gravit. Let's go ahead and we'll look at that. So there we go. That dry air has been overcome. Here's our Gravit Weather Bug Network camera. You got it on Heil Heating Cooling Mega Doppler. So we go back to the radar here. There you get to see it. Yeah, the banding is starting to move in, and that's saturating.
Oh yeah.
That happened pretty quickly.
All right, so let's go to hey, is that
That's
Waldron?
That is Waldron.
Waldron's precipitating. Check this out.
Yeah, you can see it.
Yep.
You see it underneath the light bulb, the
Bam.
light fixture.
There it is.
There it is.
So that's the precipitation that's falling, and that's snow. Now that was expected to be precipitation and as far as snow, but later on
Yes.
tonight, I think that warm nose might lift northward. It's going to be questionable.
It is. Especially when you got this very heavy precipitation moving through, keeping that column very, very cold.
Yeah. Starting in Marble, I would say probably in around. I'm going to say that's going to be about an hour.
Mm-hmm.
Dan with the fit check. Let's go.
Whole outfit.
Yeah,
Down to the
there's
socks.
just so much going on. So hey. Oh,
Yeah,
look at this. Will we see that cute guy that talks about power again?
You got it.
Yeah.
That's funny.
You know?
Like that. He's listening in right now.
I like the last name.
Yeah. Last name, Sachs.
Interesting.
I love that. That's awesome. By the way, shout out to Morgan. She's got a store in Springdale, if you haven't seen it, called Bella's Gifts.
Oh, nice.
Gotta check it out.
Nice.
It's got it's just a variety store, has a bunch of stuff there. Big time shout out on that Bella's Gifts right off of Springdale, which is Emma Street. So you can't miss it. It's all right in downtown Springdale. Oh, I thought it said creepy, but Dan is preppy now. Okay, I thought it was creepy. I was like, hey,
Huh?
you already have 13 inches.
What?
Don't know what's going on there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
All
that sensor might be broke.
Todd Jacobian's house.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But there's a look at that system moving in. You can see the precipitation that's starting to develop. That's some pretty heavy snow that's starting to fill in as well. Let's go down here. That is beastly snow. That is, Are those gorilla flakes?
That's got to be gorilla flakes. Yes.
Gorilla
Yes.
flakes.
Scattered flakes up to the size of gorillas. Yes.
Wow.
That's true. Bradley says that warm nose will have a difficult time moving north as long as it's snowing. But if it quits, it will make the atmosphere easier to warm.
Very
That
true.
is true.
That.
Talking about
At least
yesterday.
aloft.
Yeah, aloft.
But you can kind of see, look at the sleet line lifting northward. It is such a complicated, wow. Do they already have they have a trace of sleet. Okay. Let's
Sleet
pause
Mageddon.
this.
That
Let's
is
see.
for
That says,
Freezing rain.
oh, take this off there. Is that what it says?
Yeah,
Freezing
freezing
rain.
rain. Yep.
Freezing rain.
Ooh.
That's not good.
That's
That's
what
not
we
good.
were saying.
That's
That's
not
not good at all. Now look, this is where the real freezing rain shows up on the radar. So rain, freezing rain, sleet, and snow. Boy, that really is an awesome mosaic. Really
It
like
is.
Oh
that.
yeah.
You can see it all.
That's
on the
crisp.
map. Mhm.
So going back to here. All right. real quick summary of everything going on, and then we'll get to some comments. So there's a lot of moisture. There's the upper level low that's moving in. Let's take you through this. So there's the satellite and radar, big time precipitation shield. We zoom out a little bit. You can see that snow making a beeline for northwest Arkansas and the river valley. At the same time, you can kind of see how that warm nose that's evaporating, or should I say melting the snow aloft, turning it into sleet and freezing rain. And this, by the way, as the storm system moves in, those low-level winds are only going to get stronger. So future track, time to look at this as we move along in time. Widespread precipitation, we zoom in, there will be a break in the activity, but this doesn't show much of a break until about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So after that, we got the next model, and this is zoomed in a little bit more. See this lull? Look at look at how it's stopping.
Yeah.
So this is going to be a pump fake, essentially,
Yes.
by a lot of people thinking, oh, the snow's over.
It's over.
We may have gotten like 4 or 5 or 6 inches at this point.
Yeah, the
And
trolls will
then-
be ready.
and then-
yeah, you
and
guys
then-
are wrong.
It's not done yet.
Exactly. Don't be
And
fooled.
please let people know, by the way, on that. So you'll see, oh yeah,
Boom.
that starts to pick back up. It makes sense because that's the upper level energy.
Yep.
And then look at this. This just goes all the way through about 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah, we're still gonna be
About
doing
2
snow
o'clock.
showers. Yeah.
And that's cold too. That is so cold.
It's
In fact,
cold.
when do we actually warm up?
Never.
Not in the next 7 days. I can
might,
tell you that
might be a
much.
while. Might be a while for sure. Now let's take a look, just for grins, what the models have for snowfall. And this is the HRRR. Oh, it trended
It trended
down.
It did.
Turn it down.
Okay, good, because the other one was a little ridiculous.
Yeah, it was showing
Especially for the river valley, it was showing like 21.
Yeah,
inches.
21 inches.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really don't buy that.
You know, I this is going to be a 15. It might be more than that, honestly. It might be like a 17 or 18 to 1,
I
to
was
be
thinking
honest
that
with
too.
you. No church.
Nope.
So safe
Yeah.
to say no church.
Yeah.
No.
Do the Bible
Safe to
plan.
say no church for Sunday. What are the projected amounts in northwest Arkansas? There you get to see it. I mean, it's basically over a foot everywhere.
Oh, they were talking like per hour rates.
per hour rates.
Oh,
Mhm.
per hour, I would say we could exceed 1.5 inches per hour, maybe two.
Maybe
Maybe
two.
two.
It's in the cards, especially for the river
That-
valley.
Yeah.
That river
has
valley,
no
that
chance for that.
it continues to look how it looks on Mega Doppler.
Yeah.
for
Yes.
sure.
Got some heavy snow that's coming our way.
No doubt.
Now that's one. We could look at the NAM. Let's check out the NAM.
Warm bias.
Yeah, let's see how it's handling right now. So that was tomorrow night. Okay, so let's look. It's showing a minute. It's okay. It's not great. There's that warm nose trying, but it stays as all snow in the river valley. And then there's that break.
There it is.
There's that lull. And then that starts to pick up as we head throughout the afternoon into the evening on Saturday. And look, that's just really heavy snow. And then watch this. Wait till you see the wraparound. The wraparound cranks up too. And then that still goes till about 5 or 6
My
o'clock.
goodness. Just
Yeah.
leave.
These totals overall are through Sunday. So this is Sunday. Honestly, we could be way underdone on these totals. Should we see what the winter storm severity index shows?
Yeah, why
Just
not?
for giggles.
Just for
This
giggles. It
thing, I'm
probably
telling you,
changed
this
it.
thing, it's probably yellow now.
It just backed it all the way off.
Clear,
Nothing.
just gray.
I noticed yesterday too,
No
it did the
impacts.
same exact thing. It had reds all over everywhere. And the next thing you know, it all of a sudden changed.
Doing it
and
again.
Oh,
It was all
shit.
it was all red
So-
in my 5:30 show.
I know.
I don't get it.
Something happens, man.
Yes. Like there's got to be like a glitch in the system or something.
18 to 1 basically tells you that we're getting about 1.5 inches of liquid water equivalent.
Yeah.
And if you have 18 to 1, you're going to go 18 plus 6 is essentially. Now, it won't all be 18 to 1 at the whole time.
Ratios
Yeah.
change.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
ratios alter and change. So,
Mhm.
yep, I bet you don't. But you know why? Because on the radar it's showing up, but however, it's still not there. Precipitation that's in the
Is that
air.
Rogers?
By the way, what is the elevation of that radar beam? So you can look and you scroll over it and you can see it down the bottom. About 4,900
4,000.
feet,
Yeah.
5,000 feet.
5,000 feet. Yeah.
Yep. So that means that snow is sublimating at about 5,000 feet. But then you go farther north. Let's look at gravity here. And I think we got
It's starting to
precipitation.
rain.
Rogers
yeah.
is even higher,
So I'm gonna move this
About
camera
6,000
here for a
feet.
second.
Some more light.
Yeah.
about 6,000 feet. Rogers.
Let's see what we got here in Waldron. Can we see that? Oh yeah,
Yeah,
you can see
it
the snow.
underneath the light. Yeah.
Snow is falling. Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
man,
Wait till you
that
see
is-
that.
Woo.
Woo-hoo.
That is
Here
heavy.
we go.
Looks like it's mixed in with some
It
rain.
does look like that.
Yeah,
which
that is
isn't good.
definitely mixed
That's-
in with
Well, if it's
rain.
mixed in with rain,
Can-
it's freezing. Right
Can you
now.
bring up
That's not
Waldron?
good.
Yeah. That's what we were saying. Waldron is going to be freezing rain.
That's not good.
That's not good at all.
Yeah.
That's-
But what is the temperature at Waldron right now?
the River Valley was still a little warmer. That is
Yeah,
good.
it
That is a good
was. It
point.
was a little warmer. But let's look at gravit. Okay, now let's move over here. Let's see if we can see some snow coming down. They said you can see some flurries. Yeah, you can definitely see it.
Yeah, still sitting just above freezing.
Okay, well, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least it's not.
33 degrees.
It's about to change though as that colder air comes in. So I don't see a whole lot. It might be some spitting snow in the area of gravit, but that precipitation shield is just about ready to move in.
Man, it's such a large
I
system.
know it is. I just always, this is going to be a little bit longer to evolve. So
And this is why I don't like winter weather.
oh, I know.
It takes forever
Yeah.
for things to get going.
So let's take a look at the 4 panel, just for grins. Ready? And I think something's broken on the European because it doesn't even really show. Have you seen it?
Earlier, it came
There's
to
like-
its senses, and it was the GFS that took its place.
What?
You know,
They always
we'll see what
flip-flop.
happens. Yeah, we'll see what
Something's
happens.
up with the snow depth, the calculations on. Let's see what this has.
They both want to be clowns.
Class clowns.
Class
Wow,
clowns.
now the GFS is going nutsoid.
What
See,
in the world
told you.
is that? That's crazy.
Honestly, the graph doesn't look like a bad solution, to be honest with you.
He doesn't.
Here, we'll zoom in on this. That looks pretty realistic.
Yeah.
About 10 to 12 inches.
Go on.
I'd say the chances are 0.
Zero.
0.01%.
0.01. Yeah, exactly.
0.001.
Like if nothing happens somehow, some way.
Right.
But that's not gonna happen.
Oh, it's spitting snow in Bentonville. Cool. So we zoom in on European and it's a little much,
Hoping that's not the case.
but I don't know. I'm looking at this, and if you look at again, if we look at Mega Doppler, check this out. We're going to bring this up again. That is some serious snowfall to the southwest of Fort Smith.
And the River Valley looks like the target for this first round. That's
It-
where it's setting up.
it does look like it. That big
Yep.
punch.
Now, here's the thing about winter weather. It's not the same as rain. You'll see it on the radar. It'll look really good. But remember, snow falls a lot slower than precipitation.
Very
Yeah.
true.
A lot slower. So you might be seeing that by the time it gets here, it fizzles out
Exactly.
because it uses up all the moisture. The flakes are gone. And then over time, after like 3 or 4 volume scans, it shows that it's lightening up.
Yep.
But yeah, you're still getting heavy snow. It's
Because
so
that snow's like
complicated.
floating around
Yeah.
in the wind and it takes forever. Yep.
definitely some stuff falling at Fulbright. Cool. We got a actual report from Fulbright Junior High.
Nice.
Let's zoom in on that a little bit, Davion. Let's see what we got.
On Mega Doppler?
Yeah, definitely need to leave your faucets dripping tonight. No doubt about that. Yep. Go to
Oh, right here. Full
the WeatherBug network cameras. What was that location we were looking for? Fulbright.
Fulbright.
Yeah, and then click on Fulbright and then pan down just a little bit, Davion.
Where is Fulbright?
Bentonville, Fulbright.
Oh, okay. There it is.
We're gonna
Nice.
tilt down, and then you know how to zoom in. You can just draw a box right around the light. There you go. That's gonna be extreme close up. Let's see what it does.
Oops.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't see anything yet. Zoom out just a little bit. Frigid at the Walmart campus. I would definitely drip those faucets for the next several days.
Yeah, just keep them on.
You can see
Yeah.
a little bit.
Yeah,
Oh, you can?
definitely.
You can see
spitting a little bit.
spitting a
Yeah.
little bit.
Real quick update, latest radar scan, widespread precipitation about to move into Fayetteville. So by the time you're doing the 10, Davion,
It'll probably be here.
you're going to see it. It's going to be here.
Yep.
Now, this is interesting. It didn't do anything today, and that was expected. We
Exactly.
expected after 6, after sundown,
Yep.
which is exactly where it started, southwest of Fort Smith. But bringing the fur babies. But yeah, that's
Yeah,
I was a little confused why there was early dismissal today.
I
That
didn't
didn't
understand.
that didn't make any sense. I know timing was questionable among many other sources and stuff like that. And so,
I'm sure the Apple
it's-
Weather app was hyping it up.
yeah, it could be.
Yeah.
Probably got the timing wrong.
Exactly.
Got it back.
But there are some people out there that love that Apple Weather
They love
app,
it.
and they will let
They
you
swear
know.
by it.
Yeah.
It's the goat.
System
It's-
slowed down from a couple of days ago, Seth, but
oh,
now
absolutely.
now it's pretty much right on par. You know, this is a great question. How about
Yeah.
this? Why are snowflakes sometimes huge and other times they are so small? What causes that difference in size with different systems? Great question.
Very good question from Jesse.
What do you think?
Uh,
I was judging by
Oh,
You
yeah.
did.
Yeah.
That is a good question.
Kinda
that's a good
wondering the
question.
answer.
Yes.
Well, obviously, if they're wet snowflakes, there's going to be coalescence between the snowflakes. They're going to be able to pack, and you'll be able to see multiple snowflakes that appear to be one.
Yes.
However, when it's dry snow, sometimes those perfect dendrites can lock into
Yeah.
place, so you can still get big time snowflakes as well.
And I've noticed too, a lot of times when there's like a lot of wind as well, a lot of those dendrites get like blown apart, and then you'll sometimes see like smaller flakes as well that are blowing
That's
around
true.
in the wind. There's a lot of different variables at play when it
Yeah.
comes to snowflake size and type. It's fascinating stuff.
Exactly.
Dan, the science man.
50%
That's a
chance of
Leslie.
1 to 30 inches of snow.
It's a great forecast. You can't get it wrong.
Yeah.
Then we end
I
up
know,
getting
right?
31 inches.
Yeah. Wrong again.
Oh, Boonville. Okay, so they're saying Boonville had some precipitation, had about 5 minutes of light sleet. Let's look at Boonville here.
Am I too far over?
Light sleet, but now it's gone.
Oh, Kelly.
Am I too far over?
Kelly,
Right there, just western Logan County. You got it.
one
right
storm
there.
at a time, Kelly. One storm at a time.
Well, Kelly's already.
Asking about next week.
Let's go to next
Asking about next
weekend.
week.
Yeah.
Yeah. I knew there'd be one
Well,
comment asking.
since Apple weather's so good, we'll just go with that
Let's see what it
forecast.
says.
Yeah,
I'll
Probably.
look right now.
It has
Yeah.
another 11
that's
inches.
another 12 to 16.
See what it says. Oh, it doesn't have anything. How about that?
It doesn't,
Nothing
huh?
at all.
It must have talked to the 8-ball.
Yeah.
So nothing's gonna happen. Exactly.
Yeah.
Nothing's gonna happen.
All right. So if it snows next weekend, Apple Weather didn't call for it.
Exactly. Trash. It's cooked.
Bow down to the AI gods.
I saw that comment.
Yeah, we saw that.
Someone said that.
Yeah.
Very cold too, as well. So, yeah, honestly, let's get to the timing forecast graphic because
Oh,
we
yeah.
do have. This is really going to break down everything. It's kind of complicated. Took a while to make. It may not be perfect, but here's what we're going to do. Just because this graphic is so small, I'm going to bring this up actually full so you can see what's going on. So here is you've got precipitation. This is how it all lays out. Madison, Boone County, before midnight's obviously starting. This table just starts at midnight. Why? Because I was like, I don't know how to split it up between 2.5 days.
I
So
know.
I was just like,
And it'd be like so small. You wouldn't
yeah,
really see anything.
yeah. So that's why I just put it up at midnight. So midnight, everywhere is snowing, except for potentially the river valley, where there's going to be not necessarily all the river valley, but freezing rain, sleet, and snow, kind of all three of them mixed in.
Kind of see that.
I think heavy sleet is going to be in the early morning hours, which makes sense. Before 6 a.m., we're going to be doing that live stream, so we'll see if this is correct. I don't think this is everywhere in the river valley, but then we get more snow. Then we get that warm nose that kind of comes back in, lulls it out, and then mostly snow on the backside of the system. Spitting snow in Jane, Missouri.
Nice.
Does pressure drop when a system moves in like this? Absolutely.
Absolutely.
That's why if you have rheumatoid arthritis or anything that you're like not used to, big time pressure drops and you're feeling it and you're aching, let's see what we've got for a barometric pressure. I bet you it's like 29.7 or something like. Wow.
Dew point of -1.
Oh, it's so dry here.
Well, I take this
Oh,
back.
okay.
It makes sense that it's 30.42. We have an Arctic air mass in place. What am I thinking? That shows you how tired I am. When you have a low pressure system coming in, yeah, we got an Arctic high. Of course, it's going to be
It's our
Fueling
normal
higher
pressure.
all the
pressure.
cold air.
Uh-huh.
Cold air.
Duh. 29 point no.
29.067 inches involved.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
He said it.
8.9.
8.9. 8.9.
Gotta do what the Grinch says.
Little flurries in Bella Vista.
Nice.
Bring up back our source here. Bella Vista weather camera.
There it is. That makes
Oh.
sense.
Oh yeah, starting to saturate.
Bella Vista.
Shout out
Let's
Bella
see.
Vista
Cooper
peeps.
Cooper Elementary.
You know, one thing that does make me upset though, one of our storm spotters, Alex Hall, is down in Cancun right now, which
Oh,
great time to go to Cancun. But we're not going to get a report from him that says it's puking snow
Yeah,
in Lincoln. I
no.
love that report.
Kind of hard to see on camera right now. It's just spitting snow.
Brought in the bird feeders. That's a good idea.
Good morning, Rugger. From Gabby Phelan. Gabby!
No, that is Gabby.
Good morning.
Good morning, Rugger.
Is it good morning?
I mean, it feels like
It
it.
feels
My
like it.
goodness.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're going to have to shut this down again. But here's the deal. We've got live streams that we're going to be doing. We're going to kind of give you the rundown of what's happening with these live streams. So we'll take a look here. This is, again, on our streaming channel and on social media. So if you're waking up in the morning, it's going to be snowing. And it's going to be snowing a lot. It might already be gone by late morning, to be honest
Yeah.
with you.
Yeah.
We will definitely do some time lapses. The problem is, though, Haley, is it's not as cool to do those time lapses in the nighttime. You just don't see it
Doesn't
as
look as
well.
epic.
Yeah.
No.
Doesn't. You know what is interesting about snow at night?
Brought in your neighbor's cats. I think one of them is a raccoon.
He loves a raccoon, right?
I don't know.
Right.
He loves
I know.
raccoons. I know.
Yes.
Tune in tomorrow. Yeah.
That's right.
So if you can't see that, we got. Might want to make that text a little bit bigger, but anyways. 5 a.m. to 11, and then 4 p.m. to 6 p.m., Davion and Leslie. And then on Sunday, hey, who signed up for this?
Oh, what is this? Yeah.
What?
Let's just go get the cots out.
7
Go get the
a.m. to
cots.
11 a.m.
Josh did bring the cots.
That'll be
Yeah,
that'll be
yeah.
the second round that
Yeah.
comes in. So
We live here.
anyways, yeah, it's
We're gonna see
happening.
a lot of
It's
us.
coming. Precipitation's on the way. We got widespread precipitation really starting to fill in, and now you're starting to see it saturate over northwest Arkansas as well. So we'll
Yeah.
move this down to the south. There you see this. This is still dry air. Just got to saturate the low levels of the atmosphere. You'll probably
Yeah.
see this start to fall apart a little more, but winter precipitation on radar is so much different than snowfall. Now, Mina is dropping. The temperature is getting colder, and unfortunately, that's some freezing rain and sleet. In fact, you look at Waldron, and that's rain.
Yeah.
That's rain.
That's
not-
rain.
And that's why I mentioned that in the timing for the River Valley. There's going to be a little bit of a wintry mix south of I-40.
Yeah, man.
I hope it doesn't go below freezing while it's still raining there. Ooh, boy.
That's what I was concerned
Because-
about with Southern Scott County.
That already
with that.
looks slick.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Let's see what the temperatures are right now. Very, very cold
They're
across
very
the
close
region.
to freezing now in the River Valley.
Yeah.
Let's see what we got for Waldron.
Dun, 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 dun.
20, yeah. So 34 in Boonville, or 33 in Boonville, 34 in Poto, and 34 in Fort Smith. So it's once that wet bulbing occurs, it's definitely going to drop.
Dangerously close.
Yeah, you're going to be able to sled.
Oh, yeah. Should be a
It
good
might
sled
be so much that if you use some of those toboggan sleds, they don't do anything in
They'll
this
just be
deep
like,
water. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Fun times.
That's it.
Woo.
Water gonna freeze quick.
Oh, yeah. Hey, be careful around those ponds. That's one important thing to mention, too. I know a lot of folks are going to be looking at the ponds, thinking, "All right, let's go ice skating," but it's
No.
That's not
very
thick
dangerous.
enough,
It's not
man.
thick.
Not
Do not
thick
do that.
enough. Nope.
Yeah.
It's not Minnesota. It's not Wisconsin.
Nope.
Speaking of which, there was I saw this on Twitter earlier.
Uh-huh.
I think a fire hydrant bursted in a neighborhood in the UP of Michigan,
Uh-huh.
turned the entire neighborhood into a ice rink.
Oh, I
What?
believe
Higher
that.
than-
I can
Oh,
believe
yeah, I
that.
saw it on Twitter.
That's
That's
earlier.
another thing.
insane.
Pipes are going to burst with this cold.
Yeah.
It's got to get your ice rink going.
I know,
Yeah.
right?
I'll charge somebody for that. in the neighborhood.
You want some milk sandwiches? $19 a piece per slice.
Delicious.
How much are the bread and milk socks, though?
Priceless.
I think
Yeah.
you won with that.
Yeah. They're not for sale.
Yeah, I think you won.
Yeah.
I think you won.
Taking dubs.
That's a great question. So what it's doing is it's compiling a computer model, and then it just spits out that
Copy and
just automatically. No like intuition in terms of the wintry mix or the sleet snow accumulation or stuff like that. You know, there's all sorts of different stuff going on. But Davion, you're going to have some stuff to look at, some
Yeah,
stuff
I
to
am.
talk about, and again, just to let you know that we've got precipitation that's coming, a lot of it. This is I'll just say this is now why people ask I troll the Apple weather app. It's not that I don't like Apple. I've got an Apple iPhone. I tried Android. I've tried Google Pixel. I just like the Apple, although I haven't done the updates.
It's more streamlined.
But let me
Yeah,
just say
it is more
this. Let me
streamlined.
just say this. It's because when a forecast 14 to 16 days go out, I get blown up with messages saying, why is it going to snow? Or how much is it going to snow?
And you're like,
And it's like, wait, what?
all right.
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
snowing. What?
Or when Apple weather is wrong and we're not, and believe me, sometimes we're wrong, and you know that, we get blamed for it.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
why I don't like the Apple weather app.
Yes.
Okay. And you got to understand that. Imagine if someone called you about your job saying that you did something wrong when it wasn't your fault at all.
Exactly. And the thing is, and this is why winter weather is so challenging, because there's a multitude of different resources out there, some good, some not so good, right? But I feel like a lot of the times somebody will see a forecast and then automatically lump everybody's forecast into the same
that.
boat.
Exactly.
When everybody has a different forecast. We've got our own forecast. Apple has their own thing. Other stations have their own thing. So it's just a headache.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I hope it doesn't, Brian, because I'm emceeing the Heart Ball at the Rogers Convention Center on Valentine's Day. What does he know something? What's February 4th? I mean, I know it's Valentine's Day, but what?
That's the Arkansas Baseball Classic down in Dallas, Texas. It better not be doing anything, 'cause I got to get down there and watch some baseball.
Gosh.
Whoopee.
I just want to have a day where I can do something. I haven't been
Just
able
do
to watch without running 400 miles per hour.
LSU,
Yeah.
Arkansas this Saturday. You ready? 4 p.m.
Yeah, I'm gonna
See you there.
buy some cheap tickets. I'm
Exactly.
going. We'll
$10
do that after the
tickets.
live stream.
Yeah.
Just get some Baja
Yeah,
Blast
okay.
energy, and we're ready to go.
Sir.
Last thing. What should we talk about? Going back to that timeline,
Yeah, timeline.
and we can also show too the 2-day precipitation timeline. So we'll go back
Yeah,
to
it shows that
and just in the meantime, we're going to bring this up full so you really can see it. But this is again that precipitation timeline. This is questionable if this really does happen. If it doesn't happen, then we've got more precipitation to deal with in terms of snowfall. It's so you see how tricky this is. It's so tough.
Yeah.
And honestly, I think the snow is going to be lighter as we get into the rest of our Saturday afternoon. But this is when it really cranks up. This is when it really cranks up. And this is when it really cranks up. And you can see that on all of the models, essentially. We haven't looked at the graph. I know sometimes I give it a bunch of scrap, but
It honestly wasn't too bad.
It
when
wasn't
came to the
horrible.
snowfall accumulation.
It wasn't horrible.
let's look
it came
at
to
the
a
graph.
census
That's
a little
good.
earlier.
oh yeah, that's not gonna be
Oh, yeah.
there ain't gonna be anything on that. And that's the DMA. Oh, that's not the DMA anymore. Let's do this one right here, real quick. The graph. So here's the graph. Not too shabby.
It has a handle
Look.
on that dry
Pretty
air.
good.
Yeah,
Yeah, it does.
It has a handle on it.
Then it fills in.
Fills in.
How long does that last? Oh, till about 5. There's the
Yeah.
break. Is there another round? Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's some
Man,
heavy
that
snow
is
tomorrow
very heavy
night,
snow.
late Saturday night into early Sunday. That's exactly why we're doing that live stream, because we're going to be buried in by the time we get back in here.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
then look, that actually pushes out, I think, a little too early.
It always does that though. Typical graph.
Already got a dusting on my porch in Southeast Fayetteville. Well, I'll be checking
Whoa.
that out here real soon.
Here we go.
You want to see something funny?
I do.
7 minutes.
Seven
Seven
minutes.
minutes before the
Yes.
newscast. 7 minutes.
You know what's funny about that? My front door is directly outside, and
Oh,
What-
really?
the wind that
If
blows,
there's
I
no
might struggle to
break.
open my door.
I know, you're gonna be like,
I might really
"Ugh."
be snowed in.
I do. I trust the bucket. A bucket is 100% accurate
The bucket
because
knows.
it tells what's already happened.
Exactly. It's sticking your hand out the window.
Yeah.
The bucket is
Look
great.
in your head, looking out the window for your
I was
forecast.
gonna say,
So
Davey, on the opening of the door, that's your workout for the flag football game. That's
Yeah, I
coming
know,
up
right?
very
That
soon,
is.
right? Yes.
I'm gonna have a
Use that in
time
your
with that.
training Montage. Yes.
mine's gonna be running through
Cue
the
the-
brick
cue the
wall.
rock-
That
cue the
meme where
Rocky
guys
music.
just oh,
Like the
yeah.
juggernaut.
Gotta love Rocky IV's
Oh,
training
yeah.
montage. I
Oh,
think
yeah.
that is the best video ever. Oh, look at that precip. Now, this is why the River Valley, we upped the totals. We just looked at before this popped up. I was like, we got to up these totals. This is the type of banding we're talking about, too. This banding is in the River Valley. That's going to be a bullseye for heavy rain. That's
That
why
is.
the River Valley will see a lot more than what we initially had, and we had to adjust accordingly. Here's another band that's starting to set up, but you see how slow that evolves, and it's just
Taking its time.
yeah, basically crawls.
Take your
So
time.
Right. Let me saturate the upper atmosphere
All right.
first.
Exactly. No rush. Just stress us out. I love that.
Right.
this is the last thing we want to show because Davion does have to get ready, but we will continue to show a looping radar and a live stream. But here is a look at the 2-day precipitation forecast as we flip to that. This is going to give you a good view as to when to expect precipitation. So obviously, we're starting to crank this up. Now, keep in mind, we made this earlier today, and so far, not too bad. 10 o'clock, we're getting widespread on the precipitation in northwest Arkansas. After midnight, cranking up. While we're live streaming, it should be snowing to the dickens. And then it drops off during the late afternoon. Early evening, Razorback victory. We start climbing back up, and then more precipitation. The only reason we didn't go more on this 100% all the way over here is because it does start to clear out and does start to weaken.
Slowly lightens up.
Slowly lightens up. But this right here could be maybe 3 or 4 inches in a burst of an hour.
Yeah.
It's
That's
possible.
gonna be
Something.
Very, very possible. River Valley, this is what we've got for the River Valley. Again, way up there for the precipitation. It does drop off, but it's pretty darn similar, to be honest with you. And this will just be kind of like flurries right here during the early afternoon, mid-afternoon. We talked about it earlier. It's because that dry air starts filtering in. All right, guys. Josh, you ready? He's staying at my place. Wife is doing some good cooking. No, we already ate Taco Bell. So
Yeah. So,
Last of the
But
Bob Blast.
we're going to keep this stream going. You'll see a radar loop. You'll hear some music. And then what we're going to do is we're essentially going to bring on Davion at times to give the weather forecast. During the newscast, we'll go back to, some radar loops and stuff. We'll continue keeping that through about 11 o'clock or however long we've got. So
Yeah.
Let's check it out here. Go ahead and bring up that mile marker 86 in Bentonville. Let's see if in fact that is snow. Had a comment on there.
I drive, right?
Doesn't look like it because this is basically just west of 86. You can start to see some snow falling, but it's not very heavy. But that is about to pick up in dramatic, and I do mean dramatic fashion.
already got the driver pull up.
No.
Not super
Not sure if
concerned, but I did hear. Oh yeah, you can see the
Asking
snow
about that
falling
fork
now. Yep, and it's going to stick immediately. There's not going to be any.
There it is. Mile marker 86.
Mm-hmm.
Launch output.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think that's just salt.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's salt.
Yeah, that's salt.
Mm-hmm.
What do you have that in?
We got weather 3.
Weather 3? Okay. Bring that up real quick. So here
I think the Fox
is.
is condensing. Pretty sure.
Oh, what's
Is it
going
condensed
on?
shell?
I think there's a basketball game.
Oh.
I'm not
Yeah,
basketball?
that's salt.
Nice.
Someone dumped some salt.
sure.
I'm feeling salty about the system.
There's a
One spot
salty right there.
one spot.
Literally just
They're supposed to
dumped it
spread
out.
Oh, yeah, that's a good question. Can we do a system track? You know, I had that in my show. Yes, with the vorticity. Absolutely, we can. That's a great point. Just a massive beast of a system. Where is that, anyways? Where did I put that? The vorticity track. See, here's the thing. We've been throwing stuff around left and right, and the problem is that there is just so much to cover that in order to tell the weather story in a short amount of time, it is really, really difficult. Remember, I said this stream will only be a half hour. We're up to an hour.
We
now.
lied.
That's not how.
At least the stream for us, what we're doing. But there it is right there. There's the weekend system. Now, see, this is the, you ready for this? What's it called, fellas? Right here.
Baja Blast.
Baja Blast energy.
Bang.
There's a reason that we call it that. That's because that system moving in, that's what's creating the precip. Now look at how very little those little rising motions are. Not very much, but this is a much stronger system. This is what's coming in. And watch the track of this baby. It's moving basically right across the Red River, which is an ideal snowfall, very, very heavy snowfall for us. Look at that system.
That is insane.
Just massive. And then not only that, you combine it with the cold air that's coming in. This also could bring additional snow flurries, but I think it starts drying out the atmosphere, and then that system rips eastward. So again, looking at the upper level support, looking at the water vapor, there it is. That system is finally getting a kick, but it is a positive tilt, slow moving. Look at all the rising motion right here. That could also fill in some heavy precipitation. This is going to be quite a snowstorm for sure. Some pretty wicked stuff. Looks like we are condensing, huh, for the newscast?
Yeah, I think there's a college basketball game on.
Okay. Well, that's cool.
Oops.
I don't think I'm condensing. I think they're going to have me full time.
You're condensing?
You better not have a condensed.
Yeah,
form.
no, they're not condensing me.
You better have
They
as
let
much
it
weather
they let
as
it be
possible.
known.
Oh yeah, it's Ohio State and Michigan. They still got 5 minutes to go in it.
So we can go to SCASIS. Let's do that real quick and look at the heaviest snowfall real fast. Okay, so we're going to go to single station products, extremes. We'll go to select station area, KFYV, and then go here, and then let's go to total snowfall for the day. We'll hit go, and there it is for Drake Field. So these are the two that we're talking about. Wow, something's weird because it's got 1968 March 12th and March 13th, 2 days of 15 inches.
Back to back.
That'd be a 30-inch snow.
That's
man.
I don't
insane.
know. Something I think was wrong with the
Yeah,
with the errors. But 2009 to 2000 or February 9th to February 10th, even though this says February 11th, has 14.6 inches. Oh, that's the maximum. I get it.
Maximum
3-day snow total. That's what it is. It's the maximum 3-day snow total.
That makes more sense.
14.6. So if we beat 15 inches at Drake Field, it will be the all-time heaviest snowfall in Drake Field's history since records were kept in 1950.
Insane.
Now let's look at Fort Smith
Ooh,
because
interesting.
I don't want a 3-day. I want a 1 day.
There we
I want a
go.
1 day period.
I want some more statistics.
Let's go
here.
back here.
That's more like it.
There it is. February 9th ranks as the biggest snow in 1 day, and that was in 2011, which we knew, February 9th. 14.6. So it's got to be 14.6 inches.
Now, here's something interesting I'm noticing about the dates as well, Dan. A lot of these like top 5 events, actually, all the
February
top
and
6
March.
February and March.
Yeah.
So the highest ever in January was 8 inches set back on January 28th, 2000. I think we beat that.
We're crushing
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, we're crushing that with ease. But that is interesting. Shows you that February and March are pretty extreme here in Northwest Arkansas.
Man, that
Yeah.
snow band to the southwest of Fort Smith.
That's built different.
Oh,
Oh,
it
man.
is.
That's
But
been-
look at the
look at-
one
look
that's
at-
coming into Northwest Arkansas
That's
too.
developing.
Yeah.
So here's the deal. Siloam, I bet you it's got snow that we can see on the cameras. Let's look. Siloam Springs, the Weather Bug Network camera. We got to zoom in. I got it.
I'm gonna add this to the show.
We need more computers, man. That's all there's to it. Oh, hold on just a sec.
Waldron. There you are.
Stop. Nope. Yeah, I don't know what would be a good time lapse for that, you know?
I know one
Yeah.
camera. Well, no, because it would be grayed out.
It'd be grayed
Mount
out.
Sequoia, yeah, it'd be grayed out. Or not Sequoia, magazine.
Yeah,
It'd be
magazine.
grayed out.
It'll be done. It's cooked. The same thing with Sequoia too, though,
Yeah.
because when you get like all that snow, it just goes.
Look at how much the wind was swirling. Go to yeah, there you can see it from Alma. From not Alma, Allen Elementary. So much swirling on that. But you're about to see some really heavy snow begin to come down like in a short minute.
Man.
It's a little north of that's going to be close to Gentry. Shout out to Gentry, the pioneers. Went and talked to the kiddos
Hey.
earlier today. But isn't this cool though? You can really see that banding effect spreading out over Northwest Arkansas. Here, I'll show you what I mean. So this is that band right here. Our Allen Elementary Weatherbug Network cameras right here. Gentry, snow is going to be coming down. Let us know if you're outside. You start seeing some bigger snowflakes. These type of bands will really saturate the atmosphere, and you can kind of see the way that that's filling in. So this is now reaching the ground, obviously, because the radar is located right here, just to the southeast of Fort Smith, Barling. There you see the radome. There you see the cone of silence, and look at how it's filling in quick. Who's been reporting snow?
What?
That's your
Uh-huh.
stomping ground.
I know. That's my neck of the woods right there.
Waldron,
Hey,
though, Waldron's got freezing rain, and that's
That
temperatures are dropping. That's not good.
Why would you all
Man,
want to
it's
be
coming
outside?
down.
My son is still talking about his field trip. Cool. Meeting y'all months ago. That's awesome. Love it. Yeah, why would you want to be outside?
I agree.
Well, Margaret, I appreciate that. I can understand why it's not snowing in Bella Vista, but it's about to be. It's about to be.
Bella
But
Vista
again, I
level.
think that's going to be a little bit on the south end of that snow band. And that's why, there's a lot of stuff that can change, but it looks like that banding is developing kind of right in that corridor right there.
A lot of the models were hinting at that.
Very similar to where our
Right.
snowfall totals are. I don't think we're going to see a blizzard warning. I don't think the
Yeah.
winds are meeting
No
that
chance.
30 miles per hour criteria. And visibility might be reduced from heavy snow, but now there could be, we have to have strong enough winds, and 35 miles per hour, I don't think we're going to get that.
Not quite.
Not quite.
There still will be some blowing snow, though.
Yeah.
Stuff like
Matthew?
20 miles per hour, but not.
We did.
Yeah.
We got the Gravit camera fixed. There it is. Gravit High School.
Nice.
that. Love to see it.
Oh, yeah. Fort Smith Regional Airport. The day one maximum snowfall total is
11 inches.
11 inches back on 2000, January 27th.
Now, can I mention something about Fort Smith that interests me?
Yeah.
Okay, so we were just talking about Fayetteville, right? All the top 5 records were
February and March.
February, March. For Fort Smith, all the top 5 records were in December and January.
How about
That
that?
is so interesting to me.
That is.
Wow, it's crazy. But I think we could still potentially beat that.
11? Yeah, I
Yeah.
think that's very possible. I think I think this band right here is coming in. That's going to be
Oh yeah.
Do it by itself.
That is going to cause the roads to go downhill fast.
Yeah.
33 now in Boonville.
15 all the way up in Cassville.
Look
What?
at
Oh
this.
my goodness.
Look
Hold
at that.
quick. That's about as heavy as you can get, folks. It doesn't get any heavier than
You
that.
know, that's one thing we didn't show is other stuff and what's going on across the region, because we are watching some other people's locations. So what's the latest for Dallas? Checking for family. Understand that. Let's take a look here. What's happening in Dallas? It looks like it's just rain now, but starting to change over a little bit as that cold air continues to filter in. So what's interesting is we're going to look at the ice accumulation. And I think I have, where is that? I got the European loaded. That shows the ice accumulation. You see how much
So many
stuff on here?
graphics. Yeah.
So much stuff. I think it was right towards the beginning of it. Yeah, there it is. Check this out. This is just, well, first of all, before we get into the ice, I'm going to show you this on weather too. We're going to show you the size of this winter storm warning. Now, if you're watching this live stream, I mean, if you're new to this area, we don't typically get winter storm warnings that cover literally the entire state, almost, except for the ice storm warning in southeast Arkansas. This system is crazy. And yes, the system has gone a bit south, and that's why that warm nose isn't much of a factor. Nearly 800 miles across at its widest.
And just look how far south those winter storm warnings go.
And
too.
it almost go to El Paso.
I mean, that right there. So the Big Bend region of Texas, right? That's the desert. And there's a winter storm warning there. Like, at the average high temperature this time of year is like in the 60s and 70s.
Over 2,000 miles. That is just, I took a screenshot of that, and that is just unbelievable. I have a family in Wichita Falls, and it is absolutely dumping sleet. I bet. Yep. Crazy.
2 minutes and 17 seconds ago.
Still going.
Still going.
Condensing.
Condense the game. That game's over.
Dan, I think you're on.
That's what with the totals.
That dry.
Yeah.
That looks like if it stays just that might move out faster than
I think so.
tomorrow. So
Yep.
Take
that Colt shirt off.
What?
Yeah.
Come on, like, we're already poverty enough. The Colts are already a poverty franchise. Let me rep them.
Who is your quarterback that was like 75 years old?
Phillip Rivers,
Yeah,
baby.
Phillip Rivers.
Yes.
Yeah.
Old man still got it.
We do have flakes over here in Bella Vista, so we're finally starting to get some saturation now. Very limited, though. Mega Doppler. No, I think this is really cool.
That's a new name.
Hey, I know
That's a
this
new
guy.
name.
My buddy, Vance. What's going on, Vance?
Scoftastic.
Scoftastic.
Nice.
That's funny.
What's the fish of the what's the catch of the night, Vance? Wow, look at that sleet area lifting northward. Look at that. You can see it lift north and then it fights off.
A warm nose.
Uh-oh.
Whoa. Oh, I didn't see that.
$750 an hour. That sun is shooting for the stars there. Push-ups.
What?
Push-ups.
For what? What do we have to?
Well, let's go back to the
We're in
ice
trouble.
here. So the reports in Oklahoma, they are just getting dumped on with sleet. But this is the ice accumulation that's expected. Dallas, 3/4 of an inch, according to the European. That's an ice storm. 1/2 inch is an ice storm.
Crippling.
There could be just massive power outages.
Mhm.
I mean, massive.
I am very concerned for Southern Arkansas. That might be the bullseye of the most significant icing.
And in Arkansas,
Arkansas.
but I think like
Mississippi.
Oxford,
Yeah.
Mississippi,
Yeah.
and Starkville, and eesh,
Stark Vegas.
Where is Mississippi State?
Stark ISIS.
It's
Oh no, that didn't work. Stark ice.
Stark-
Stark ice. That didn't work. It didn't
Can you
work
tell
at
we've
all.
been working
Yeah.
a long time?
Yeah.
Right. It's been a long.
You said
several years.
Vegas, and I added an S to it. And I was like, no, that doesn't work. That doesn't work. No. No, I don't think. I know the Fayetteville Fizzle is a thing, but Colby is. What? He's not even here. He's on a cruise, right? Or
Oh,
is he
he's
here?
still up here. Oh,
Wait a minute. I thought he was on a cruise.
that's Alex Hall. He's out of town. Colby's still in town. We might be in trouble, guys.
2 to 4.
2 to 4. Let me edit it right now. Here we
2
go.
to 4 inches.
Yep.
That's it.
It's over. Forget about it.
You're going to subtract a foot from those totals.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you're wondering, where's Fox? We're waiting for the football,
Michigan, Ohio State.
basketball game to be over.
Just forfeit, bro. Just forfeit.
So you got these ice totals on here? Yeah. We can
Yeah,
zoom in.
I was looking at all the different areas.
Golly.
3/4 of an inch in Dallas. That's crippling.
That's rough.
Big time.
Here's a good question. Why are you so bullish on the warm nose? I kept people saying cold air always wins. Well, it does. Cold air does always win, but you got to remember that cold air is down at the surface, and that warm nose, it will fight. I'm telling you, it will fight big time as the main energy starts to lift in.
I like the way you said that because the cold air will always win at the surface.
Yeah.
But in that column of air above the surface, the warm nose a lot of the time can be the dominant feature.
Yeah.
So it doesn't always win, in the mid to upper levels of the atmosphere.
I remember when, and this was something I'll never forget. And when I learned this, it was January 12th through the 14th, 2007. It was an ice storm that hit northwest Benton County. It was expected to come through all of northwest Arkansas, but I had it for northwest Benton County because I knew how the terrain was going to stall out. Well, I didn't know. I thought, but the terrain was going to stall out the Arctic air mass.
Yeah, it does that.
Shallow cold air. Now, this is not quite the same as that shallow cold air mass, but
Doug has snow in Oklahoma cameras. He emailed it to us.
who?
Doug.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So it's coming.
Oh, it's coming.
The HER model, it's come to a census and it shows that pause before the another burst of snow. Watch. Not really much going on, and then
Finally.
So this is another graphic for you. Arctic air. Now this is not the same, but this is essentially what we're talking about with that cold air at the surface. It's very shallow because it's very cold and very dense, so it stays very low to the ground. As that Arctic air remains low to the ground, it starts to plunge southeastward, but watch, it can't go through the terrain. It has to go around the terrain. So there you can see how there could be literally a bubble until it actually filters in the river valley and if the cold air gets deep enough. So there's a look at the terrain effects. And in those protected valleys, that's where you can get that icing. And this is exactly where the icing was the worst.
this is like
Isn't that a cool graphic?
it's like carbon copy of cold air
damming
in
Yes.
North Carolina.
Yep.
It is exactly
Got
the
the
same thing.
same setup, just taller mountains, and it's even more apparent.
And so if we look at the precip type, and we got several graphics for this. This is one right here. So how can there be surface temperatures that are below freezing, surface temperatures that are really below freezing at higher elevations, and as that snow starts moving in, at the same time, and when it's cold enough, it's all going to be snow. But if we look to our south, here comes that warm nose, and that warm nose will fight off essentially that cold air at the surface by melting the snowflakes aloft, turning them into water droplets, and then refreezing them as they fall into sleet. And then when that warm nose gets even deeper and the cold air gets shallower, that allows for freezing rain. And so that's kind of what we're looking at here. Over time, that warm nose will try to make it north, but it doesn't make it into northwest Arkansas. When originally it was looking like that warm nose would make it into northwest Arkansas, but that's not necessarily the case anymore. Here's another graphic that will show that as well.
That's a good graphic.
So here's
I
another
love
one.
this one.
Yeah, I like this one. It's kind of still, so it doesn't animate, but you get the idea. So if the cold air is really, really shallow and the warm air is really, really deep, it's just going to be a cold rain, which is on the basically the left side of that. Oh boy. Hold on. I'm just looking at something. Oh, I got you. Yeah, he wants essentially this, right? Let me know if this is what you're talking about. That table up at the top. Yeah, I'll send you that.
Oh,
Yep. Okay, good. We'll do that.
sweet.
It's getting close. So is
Game's
that
over.
precipitation. So Fox is going to start real quick. Are you ready?
Yeah. I'm
Here they
ready.
come.
Yeah.
And here comes the snow. Anything showing up?
Yeah, I see flurries.
Oh, I bet you Siloam's got it too.
That's too far in. That's way too far in.
Let's look at Siloam here.
Siloam's definitely gonna have some snow.
You could look at Posey too. Some of the newer cameras. Oh, there you go.
That shows
Look
the
at that
evaporating.
difference.
Oh,
Yeah,
Yeah,
big
I'm pulling
time.
that up.
kind of white hue in the distance.
First weather. That's evaporating.
Yeah, big time. So funny. That just looked like it's kind of sagging towards the ground.
I know, right?
There's There's Gravit. Let's take a look here at Kisser FM. Oh, there is the precipitation right
That's
there.
heavy.
Oh, that is
heavy.
that's a big time snow.
Here we go.
Big time snow. Our Kisser FM Weather Bug Network camera.
Let it cook.
Let it cook.
Whoa. That almost looks like a shelf cloud.
I know. That's
That's
what I
a-
always say all the time. I'm like, I know this looks ominous, like it looked like a tornado, but
Hey, I'm hitting record on this.
Oh, yeah.
That's pretty cool looking.
There's the
Yes.
time lapse.
Yeah, I'm definitely hitting record. Don't forget to stop this, Davion.
Okay.
We got Lincoln too. I'm gonna point this southwest. Yeah, look at that precipitation. Look at the dry air still in place. Southwest. There it comes. You can
I
see
got
it
you.
lowering. Not a lowering as a thunderstorm, but lowering. Let's take Harrison. We'll point it the other way. Northwest.
Which one are we looking at? Harrison Gaither Mountain Camera.
That's Waldron right
No,
here.
Kisser
That's,
FM. This is what I was
freezing
talking about.
rain.
All that is
So
some
it makes- that is
really heavy precipitation. Yeah,
freeze
that's
over.
Waldron. That's freezing rain right there.
And then this
Rain
is,
and freezing
there?
rain.
this is
Yeah,
Posey Mountain. It's snowing, but it's evaporating. You can see that line.
right
It is
there.
right there.
Yeah.
That's sublimating. Yep.
Yeah, sublimating. So that's, and
She's
then
coming.
this, look at that. Looks like a shelf cloud. I'll be weather one.
That's a good one to show.
Dan, you want me to keep the mic on?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
you can hear me. Yeah.
Well, once
Oh,
I go
that's Casey.
PCR, they'll also be able to hear you through your other mic too.
Okay.
Yep.
Weather lab.
Oh, there's precipitation moving in towards Bentonville too. So
Yeah.
we're about to get it.
Two-shot weather lab.
Oh boy.
Is it?
Yeah.
All right, let's roll.
Packed weather lab.
Okay, guys, we're gonna stop our coverage. Josh and I, we're out of here. We
Yep.
got to go.
Yep.
However, Davion, he's got you. And if you want to continue the stream a little bit after the newscast, you're welcome to.
Okay.
We're seeing you at 5 a.m.
Bright and early. We love to see
I
it.
got like 3 hours of sleep to get.
Exactly.
All right.
Love that.
Take care, guys. We're going to put it into a radar loop. And then once the newscast starts, you'll be able to see what's going on. So thank you for watching, guys. Live radar weathercast will show when we're on air.
Yep.
So there you go. Yep. All right. Cool. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Good. Switch to the radar.
Peace.
Starting to come in.
Yeah, it's starting to come in, and we've seen it on our Mega Doppler system. We've also seen it on some of the cameras to the south, as well as over and towards Bentonville. It's moving in. We're starting to see a heavy band. In fact, if we can take Mega Doppler forward, look at just to the southwest of Fort Smith. That is some very heavy snowfall that's going to start to move and work its way in. And there's more where that came from as we continue to see the rest of the cameras. You can see as I step into the graphic, just give me a second here. There it is. Look at Waldron. Now that is actually freezing rain. Temperatures are just above freezing, but those will quickly fall, and that roadway is going to be a little bit treacherous as we'll play this out and check out those temperatures. You'll see down into the river valley still holding on just above freezing in parts of the river valley. Nonetheless, that is certainly going to be changing. And check this out. This is Posey Mountain. You can actually see the sublimation of the snowfall. You see that fine line in the clouds. That is actually snowfall that's just not making it down to the ground. But once it starts making it down to the ground, it will certainly start to accumulate very quickly as well. And check this out. This is our Kisser FM WeatherBug Network camera. That almost looks like a shelf cloud if we were talking about severe weather. All of that is snow that is trying to make its way into the ground as well. So we got a lot of snowfall that's starting to move into the region. Here's a look at that on satellite and radar. All that cold air being funneled in with the moisture running into it, and that's why you're getting that changeover. Now, there is one thing that we're going to continue to watch, and that's this little bit of a dry slot. I got to be honest, when we were talking with Chief Meteorologist Dan Scoff as well as Josh Rugger, we can see that dry air may be working its way into it. So I don't know if this snowfall shield will hold together throughout the entire overnight period. But nonetheless, we've got a lot of snowfall on the way, and we're letting you know how much we're going to get. All the details in your full Fox 20 forecast coming up after this, but we're going to send things back to you, Josh.
All right, thanks, Dave. And once that winter weather is here in full force, the attention immediately turns to the condition on the roadways. Fox 24
portions of Bentonville. And you can see down to the south, that is a very heavy band of snow about to work its way into Fort Smith. In fact, we can take a look at this on some of our cameras. So here is our Kisser FM WeatherBug Network camera. This is Dripping Springs, just north of Fort Smith, looking off to the west. And that is a heavy, heavy band of snow that's about to work its way in. It almost looks like a shelf cow. Here's a look at Posey Mountain. I will step out of the way here. You can see what's called sublimation. The snow is falling. It's just not quite reaching the ground. And you can see that reflected in the clouds and that very thin line of where it goes from clouds to really nothing. And then take a look at Waldron High School WeatherBug Network camera. We have this pointed at a light. You can see that is some very heavy precipitation. Now, unfortunately, that is actually falling as rain, and the temperatures are about to be falling below freezing, as that's certainly going to cause some very slick travel issues. Check out your wind chills right now. Everywhere is below freezing for your wind chills, and we're getting even colder with that northeasterly flow continuing. And here's a look at that overnight the system, I should say. Notice it's all of the moisture off to the west of it, or east, I should say, that's moving in right now. The main low pressure system still has a ways to go before it reaches our area. And that's why the models don't do a good job of all the Baja energy that we always try to talk about. But there, nonetheless, you can see the southerly track of that system, as well as it congealing with some energy from the north. And that southerly track is why we've upped those snowfall totals, because of that rain snow line will be a lot further north, or further south, I should say, than we've previously thought. So here's a look at the winter storm warning, the largest winter storm warning that I've seen in my young career. It's also followed by a very broad ice storm warning as well. And even back towards the Carolinas, still showing that ice storm warning as well. So this is a very large system, could have some very impactful ice as well. Here's a look at your 2-day forecast timeline. You see those rain chances maxing out, or precipitation chances, I should say. Not all of it is rain. And those very cold temperatures staying well below the freezing mark for both air temperatures and wind chills. So here's a look at satellite and radar right now. We're starting to see that band of moisture continuing to stream through our area. Likely going to be seeing snowfall before the end of this newscast across portions of the coverage area. But there is a little bit of a dry slot to the back. This isn't really filling well across the Texas panhandle. So we're going to work and see if that remains to be the case as we go throughout the overnight. If that doesn't fill in, some of that snow will try to leave a little bit earlier, but all of it is being caused by that high pressure off to the north, funneling in that cold air as that moisture runs into it, is continuing to change over. Future track model is showing that snow band continuing to move across the coverage area. As we zoom in just a little bit, you can see that warm nose trying to inch up towards Waldron in our southern portions of Scott County as well as LaFleur County. And that's going to be a big changeover into some sleet as well as freezing rain. And then notice the dry slot starts to dry things out. We have to shift a little bit to a model that goes out even further. Notice how dry it gets throughout the late afternoon and into the early evening hours. Tomorrow, we are not done, as there will be another band of heavier precipitation, and that's that upper level energy that will be moving in. And notice the warm nose is actually trying to come in as well. Still got snow showers lingering all the way to Sunday afternoon. However, we will start to taper things off after that. So the HER model has actually come to its senses a little bit in terms of snowfall totals, and you can see that pause before it reflects even more snow. That's that lull in the activity that we're expecting late tomorrow afternoon and into the evening, but a much more reasonable picture in terms of snowfall amounts. And this is more so in line with what we're forecasting for our snowfall amounts. So here's a look at that across the area wide. Our northernmost counties, maybe 8 to 10 inches plus across some areas. There will be areas that overperform, maybe even areas that underperform, but nonetheless, we have a broad area of 12 to 16 inches plus, especially in higher elevations. Notice we got 10 to 12 inches plus for a large chunk of northwest Arkansas, extending even down into the river valley. And then we also have the threat for some ice accumulating south of Waldron, and we're already starting to see that on those Waldron cameras. So the NAM model still had that warm nose. It still has a little bit of a warm bias, and that's because it's all about the upper air atmosphere right now. So you can see we have a thick layer of warm air down to the south, and that's actually what's causing freezing rain right now, warm air aloft. When that warm layer starts to thin out a little bit, it'll start to change over into sleet. And then, of course, when it remains all cold, it'll be snowfall. Now, behind this system, we also got extremely cold temperatures, and that's why we have an extreme cold warning that's in effect. Temperatures are going to be down well below freezing, and here's a look at that on your future track. In fact, we're going to skip off to the European model because it shows just how cold it could possibly get Monday morning. Yeah, minus 13 for wind chills, as temperatures are in below negative as well. So certainly going to be a very chilly start to our week. So make sure you keep up to date with our weather blog. Scan that QR code because we're going to be posting things constantly. Meteorologist Leslie Castro has been doing a very good job with keeping everything up to date with the latest graphics and all the information. We're going to be streaming live tomorrow. We got all the details coming up. We're going to be very busy as your Weather Authority team works to give you the latest information. You can catch Josh Rugger and meteorologist Dan Scoff live tomorrow morning, 5 a.m. all the way to 11.
5 a.m.
At 5 a.m. You can catch me and Leslie all the way from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. But nonetheless, there's your 7-day forecast. Not much melting going to happen after this storm because those temperatures are really going to struggle to get above the freezing mark all new next week. Treacherous road conditions will last through late next week.
And that's affecting a lot of the Razorback athletic sports that are taking place this weekend.
It is.
And for more on that, let's go to Evan Camico from the Picture on Nation set. What's up, Evan?
Yeah, hey guys, like Arkansas Gymnastics, their meet tonight.
the southwest of Fort Smith. Even here in Washington County, we're starting to see that arm of snow reach in, and it's going to be saturating the air. And when it does, we're going to start to see that snow. So there is your 7-day forecast. A very snowy and cold weekend ahead. Of course, an extreme cold warning along with the winter storm warnings. Alert days for both Saturday and Sunday. Chief Meteorologist Dan Scoff, as well as meteorologist Josh Rugger, will be live at 5 a.m. tomorrow, all the way through 11 o'clock. And then me and Leslie will be live from 4 to 6. But on your 7-day forecast, you'll see there's not going to be much melting, which is actually pretty concerning. Even though the sun will happen, there'll be some radiational melting, but nonetheless, there's going to be treacherous driving conditions throughout late next week because temperatures will only nose above freezing for only a few hours in the afternoon between Tuesday and Friday. So get ready for that.
Get ready for it. You guys are going to be working extremely hard. You can watch it on our 479 First app. Again, starting at 5 a.m. with Chief Meteorologist Dan Scoff and Josh Rugger, and we will see you then. Be safe.
Check. Nothing in Fayetteville yet. That's about to change. It's about to change. 2 minutes out. We go right back to PCR.
from inside the car, I guess, here in Northwest Arkansas, just past Springdale.
of the season.
Kicking things off with a time lapse from PG Telco WeatherBug Network camera. You can just see the constant stream of clouds that we had rolling in today and even in through the early portions of this evening. And of course, that's because of the big winter storm that we've been hooting and hollering about over the past several days. Here's a look at Mega Doppler right now. You can see we're starting to see some of that snow actually reach into our area, and it's actually starting to reach the ground as well in some areas. They're beginning reports of starting to see flurries across portions of Bentonville, as well as Washington County, even down to the River Valley, Fort Smith. You're starting to see some of that snow that's starting to work its way in. Here's a look at that on some of our cameras. This is Boonville Elementary School. We got blowing snow right now, and that's of course going to start to stick. Look at the track, it's starting to be painting a different color as that snow continues to fall. And look at these temperatures. Can you tell we have winds out of the northeast? Look at those temperatures cooling on the backside, and that's funneling in all of the cold air. You'll see that on satellite and radar. Here's a look at Kisser FM, and you can see that menacing looking smoke that looks right there. That's actually snowfall, and it's starting to move its way into Fort Smith and Dripping Springs, and that's why it looks like that. And of course, even in Posey Mountain, you can see that cloud of slowly starting to work its way down to the ground. It's going to take a little bit more before it gets there, but certainly going to start to see that. Now, wind chills are going to be a very big factor behind this system, throughout this system, and even now you can see wind chills are already well below freezing area wide. Some areas are even too cold to report. Just kidding, but it's certainly going to be a very chilly next couple of days. Here's a look at the low pressure system. It's finally getting a kick. You know, we have that kicker system starting to move it. Sometimes these lows just sit there, and that's exactly what this one did. And hurricane hunters were actually able to fly into that a couple of days ago and give us some much needed info. Now, all of the moisture out ahead of it, that's the Baja energy that we always like to talk about. High resolution models usually don't do a very good job with that at all. And you can see all of that energy is working its way in. But notice there'll be a little bit of a load in activity tomorrow. That's because before that, that's all the Baja energy. Then the main low pressure, the upper level pressure moves through our area, and that combines with some systems from up north as well. Now, the winter storm warning, of course, is in effect. That's been in effect for the past several days now. We're expecting widespread travel conditions, and look at how large this winter storm is. Goes all the way from New Mexico all the way to New England, and we had ice storms to the south of it as well. The southern portions of northwest Arkansas, or not northwest Arkansas, but the southern portions of the state, I should say, will see a very big thumping of ice. Here's a look at that on the European model. There are some areas that could receive over an inch of ice across portions of the southern state, and even over towards Tennessee and the Appalachians. So that's certainly going to be a crippling ice storm, and that's going to cause a lot of infrastructure problems. Over the next couple of days, you can see your 2-day forecast timeline. Yeah, the temperatures do not go anywhere. We're staying in the teens and single digits. Wind chills will likely be negative at some times. And notice those snow and sleet conditions staying at 100% throughout the overnight. And there will be a little bit of a lull in activity throughout tomorrow afternoon and into the early evening. However, there's not done. That's when that upper level low will move through, and we're going to have those those snow chances, I should say, pick right back on up. So here's a look at satellite and radar right now. Of course, we're starting to see that precipitation fill in across the coverage area. Some of that is reaching the ground. For some of it is just starting to reach the ground. But nonetheless, by the time we go throughout the next several hours, that will be a lot of snow that's on the ground. We could see a pretty nice thumping of that throughout the overnight. Now, there is a little bit of a dry slot behind this system. And I have to say that looking at this, I don't know if that system right now will last all the way through the overnight unless that dry slot starts to filter in with more precipitation. So that'll be something to watch that could try to limit snowfall totals, at least for the first part of this system. But notice all of the cold air funneling in behind it, thanks to that high pressure that sits off to the north. And that's going to continue as we go throughout the next couple of days. So here's a look at your future track. You can see on the high resolution model, as we zoom in just a little bit, you'll see a lot of heavy snow, even to the south in the River Valley. We did up those snowfall totals because that warm nose looks to be less prominent than what it looked like a couple of days ago. Now, taking this out further, you can see we're going to have a little bit of lull in activity. Once again, the storm is not done once we go throughout tomorrow afternoon and into the evening. And you can see that as we start to ramp things back up late tomorrow night and into early portions of Sunday morning. Some more heavy snowfall likely with that band that moves through. And look at the temperatures behind this system. They're going to continue to be brutally cold. So here's a look at your future track. The HER has that little bit of a low watch, and then we get another burst of that snowfall that comes through. And this has a little bit more of a better grip on it. It was actually talking a little bit sideways a little earlier today, showing 21 inches of snow in the River Valley. Not going that high. Here's a look at our forecasted totals. There is a little band of 12 to 16 inches plus, especially in higher elevations, 8 to 10 in northernmost counties, 10 to 12 from our area down to the River Valley. Valley, and then south of Waldron and Point South, I should say, pick up a little bit more sleet as well as freezing rain, and that's going to be a little concerning. Could have a little bit of an ice factor. So wintry precipitation, we have that warm layer aloft that's causing freezing rain into the south, and if that warm layer starts to thin out a little bit, that's where you get sleet, and those are the two dangerous driving conditions. Now, driving conditions are going to be horrible all around, wherever you slice it, with all of the snow we're expecting to get, and none of that snow is really going to melt. Extreme cold warning isn't in place throughout the entire coverage area, except for our northern two most counties in southwestern Missouri. Nonetheless, it's still going to be very cold, and I got to say, temperatures are going to struggle to melt. Watch our wind chills as well as our future track. Notice we're below freezing, and we stay below freezing Saturday morning, I should say. Here's where Monday morning could start off at, or just after midnight. Notice those wind chills well below freezing and well below zero, I should say. So that's going to be continuing. So make sure you're remembering your cold weather tips. You've heard a lot of them throughout the newscast. Make sure you're not using heaters that are not built for indoors. You risk carbon monoxide poisoning as well as fires and things of that nature. Just make sure you're using the right things to protect your house and home as well as yourself. So for your 7-day forecast, you can see how that snow continues as we go throughout tomorrow and even into Sunday afternoon before it finally starts to leave our area. Could see some wraparound moisture, still remains to be seen, but nonetheless, not much snow will be melting as we go throughout late next week. And that is a long time to have a lot of snow. I got to say, even with the sun coming out, there will be some melting, but whatever melts will refreeze right overnight. And that's why we're concerned about driving conditions lasting, or treacherous driving conditions lasting well into late next week. So we got a lot of winter weather on our hands, a lot of impacts to deal with before it's all said and done.
It's going to hang around a while. I'm looking at DOTD cameras out of Oklahoma. That's one on the east side of Tulsa, 412 on the east side of Tulsa, plenty of snow. So it is hitting the ground. It will be here before you know it. When we come back, we'll check back in with Casey Smith. He is out, I believe, out on 412. If I'm not mistaken, that's next. Keep it here.
Hey everybody, here is a quick update on satellite and radar, mega Doppler, I should say. We do have that snow that's starting to move in. I will say though, conditions are very dry across portions of Northwest Arkansas, especially here in Fayetteville, and that's why we're struggling to see that snow reach the ground. I did go outside and I saw that it wasn't reaching the ground. It's actually sublimating. Here's a look at that, and you can see that that gray area there. That's the snow, but it's evaporating before it's reaching us. And check out these dew points. We still have negative dew points across here, Drake Field. And there's a big difference. Check out Boonville, however, Boonville Elementary School. You can see the snow is falling. It is whipping and blowing in the wind. The track is starting to get covered there. And check out the difference in their dew points as well as their temperature. See, they're not nearly as cold as what we are. Here is a look at satellite and radar. We're going to give you this as well, going through this once again. Just a very quick update as we start to close things out. So there is the snow shield. It's moving in. Some of it is reaching the ground. Some of you guys are certainly seeing snow. Others not so much, unfortunately. But I will say there is snow coming. If you're asking about why there is snow on the radar, but not necessarily snow that you can see, that's because the upper or the lower levels of the atmosphere still has a dry slot, and that's why. So that's why. So the air is just not, the atmosphere, I should say, or the air columns are just not all the way saturated yet. So that's why we're continuing to see some sublimation or virga, as you might add, on those night cameras. Now, not everybody is dealing with that. Some of you guys are certainly reaching and seeing snow, but I do want to draw your attention to the backside of this. Notice out west on the panhandle of Texas and Oklahoma, and west on Interstate 40, the western portions of the state of Oklahoma, you can see there is a dry slot, and that may try to affect our snowfall totals as we head into the overnight period. And that's going to be a little on the concerning side. You can see as I tip down this camera just a little bit. There we go. Yeah, that's going to affect some of our snowfall totals, or at least try to. That we're going to see if the dry air will be overcame by the moisture, but right now it's not looking likely, and that may eat at some of our snowfall totals, because I don't bet that this lasts all the way through the entire overnight like the models are saying. But nonetheless, it could fill in, and that could be a better scenario if you're a snow lover. There's a wider look at what's going on right now. Still have an abundance of moisture off to the south and west of us. So regardless, we're going to see 2 rounds of this, and we can actually look at the latest HRRR model once again. So here is a look at overnight tonight. We're continuing to see that snow band move through, that snow shield, I should say. Zooming in a little bit closer, you can see we're going to continue to have snow on and off. But once again, of course, this is all dealing with if that dry air lasts, because some of this may actually struggle to, or a lot of this is struggling to reach the ground in some areas, especially here around Drake Field. But notice the lull in the activity as we go throughout your Saturday afternoon and into the evening. And then after that, we start to see things pick back up again. And now we're changing it to the high res model, the extended, just going out a little further. We do get another burst of heavy snow, but I will say if that dry slot comes to fruition and stays there, we may struggle to reach our goals. But nonetheless, there's going to be some heavy backside moisture that comes through on the second kick of this system before it starts to move out late Sunday afternoon and into Sunday evening. So we're still going to keep an eye on this. We're still calling for our snowfall totals to be around 8 to 10 inches across our northern counties, 10 to 12 across a huge chunk of the area, and 12 to 16 plus in some areas. Here's a better look at that as I'm talking. But again, some of that snow may set up shop just a little bit further south compared to what's happening right now. If I'm taking what's going on right now, a lot of dry air is combating that. So I'm seeing a lot of snow down into the river valley right now, portions of Northwest Arkansas. Some of you are seeing flurries. Some of you are still seeing sublimation. So it'll be interesting to see how all of this plays out. Now, if you want, of course, more coverage, we are going to have a lot more coverage on this storm, of course, as we continue to go through the next 24 to 36 hours. Chief Meteorologist Dan Scoff, as well as meteorologist Josh Rugger, will be live here tomorrow at 5 a.m. And you can catch them on every single one of our apps, every single one of our services, 479, streaming, of course, live on Facebook, Dan Scoff's YouTube as well. And then we'll also be doing live cut-ins when we need to as well. So we'll have the whole details covered. Me and Leslie Castro will be live from 4 to 6 p.m. Also going to be updating the weather blog. She's been hard at work on that, keeping everything up to date as fast as humanly possible because things are rapidly changing and you can see that. So here's one last look at Mega Doppler. I'll bring this up once again just so you can see what's going on as I change this over to Mega Doppler. Here's one last look at it. And you can see that snow shield is starting to filter in over a wide portion of the coverage area. Zooming out just a little bit so you can see what's going on. There is Fort Smith, starting to see that heavy band. And look, we still have heavy snow to the south. So if that continues to be the case and the heavier band set up shop to the south of Fayetteville into the River Valley, we may see that bullseye just increment down south just a little bit more. But nonetheless, still calling for 10 to 12 inches plus in portions of the River Valley. We'll see how everything changes. Chief Meteorologist Dan Scoff, as well as Josh Rugger, once again, they'll have all of the latest information as things come today, and they'll have all the latest information as we head into tomorrow morning. And they start at 5 a.m. tomorrow morning. Again, they start at 5. They'll stream all the way to 11, and then we will be live. Me and Leslie Castro, we will be live at 4 p.m. all the way to 6 p.m. Keep it here with the latest. Make sure you guys have a very safe evening. I hope you guys have a very safe overnight. I promise you the snow is coming. We just have to get through the drier levels of the atmosphere first. Then again, Chief Meteorologist Dan Scoff and Josh Rugger will be live at 5 a.m. tomorrow on all of our service apps. So make sure you catch them all the way through 11 a.m. Have a good night, everybody, and I hope you have a very good and safe evening.